Well, hello and welcome in. We're certainly excited to be with you all this evening. We are looking for a wonderful time as we are wanting to, first of all, to make sure that you can hear us clearly. Um, if you can hear us, make sure that you do give us a thumbs up and let us know that you are able to hear us. And if it's your first time, welcome in every single one of you to Emerge, a brand new talk show with you in mind. We're simply just trying out a new platform tonight on the Restream. So it's a little bit different, guys, than um, what is that? I'm drawing a blank. Then the other one, and we will talk a little bit more about that. And so, super excited, wanted to just jump on really quickly. And I want to talk about tonight the importance of um, forgiveness. And I know that's a really big one. But what I have learned is when you are on your own healing journey, whatever that looks like for you, it looks like different things for different people. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bit different than somebody else that you know. It's just important that we focus on our own healing journey. And there may be some similarities. There may be things that we can relate with one another. Because why? Because it's a part of the healing process. It's a journey, as I like to say. And part of that journey is revisiting places within yourself to where you may have experienced pain that caused feelings on the inside of unforgiveness towards someone or something, or could be a combination of both. Um, Now, what I will say is forgiveness for me was not necessarily an easy thing, although I used to think it was. And here's what I've learned that I really thought that I had forgiven um, because my feelings or my emotions were not still heightened and I had moved on with my life. And what I had to realize and learn, welcome in, guys, welcome. What I had to realize is that part of healing, just because you go on with your life, does not mean you actually forgiven. Welcome in, guys. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Emerge. And so, um, just sharing a little bit about the journey of healing, which does include forgiveness. And so um, I thought that I had forgiven. In all honesty, I believed that I had truly forgiven because my emotions were not heightened. I didn't feel the anger. I didn't feel a lot of the things that I had released, right? During the process as I was healing on the journey. But what really made me come to face was when I learned the true definition of healing. And when I found out that, well, forgiveness, which leads to healing, the true definition was when you no longer hold a person responsible for what they have done. Um, in other words, you basically have pardoned how how you felt, how you were treated, how you were done, and you totally release them from that burden of, yes, what they've actually done. You've released them. You no longer hold them to the charge of it. Now, it doesn't mean that, they didn't do what they did or you didn't experience those things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that true forgiveness is when you release them. And that was hard, guys. Listen, it was very hard because I thought I had went on with my life. I thought that I had truly forgiven. And when I came face to face with that, when you release someone in the sense of truly forgiving them, when you think about the incident, you don't have this um, mm, this funny feeling, for lack of a better word. Let me just use layman terms of this funny feeling on the inside, or if you hear somebody bring up their name, you don't feel a certain way, and or if you happen to see them, it doesn't make you feel in a way that's uncomfortable or that something's still there. And I had to realize, welcome in, guys. Thank you. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Um, I had to realize that it was important for me to truly forgive. And whatever that looked like, I was willing to do the work because I didn't want to carry the pain. I didn't want to carry um, things that were associated with an offense, pain, things that I experienced. And so I began to actually do the work. And this is what I've learned, that first of all, healing and forgiveness, that's a choice, okay? You do make a choice to decide if you're going to forgive that person or not. And listen, forgiveness is not a feeling. It's just not. And because you may not feel forgiveness, and that's full transparency. You may not feel like you have forgiven or feel like you want to forgive. But here's the thing, it is crucially important that you understand there is a need to forgive, not for the person, but for yourself. What does that mean? That means you are the person that is affected by whether you choose to forgive or not. That's right. Believe it or not, you holding on to unforgiveness is affecting you. Yes, that's right. It's actually affecting you, not that person. You might think that it's affecting them because you choose not to forgive, or you feel like that you are hurt so deep, or you were betrayed at such a level that you're saying, I will never, I just can't forgive that. Listen, you must find a way to forgive. Now, mind you, I'm not telling you. that it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you anything I have not walked myself. I've had to walk this road. And I tell you, one of the things that is very hard about true forgiveness is release. Actually, releasing an individual for what they have done. And that's not always easy. We could say, "Oh yes, I've gone on with my life. I don't even see them. I don't have anything to do with them." Or that doesn't matter. Have you truly released them from the offense? Have you released them from the betrayal, from the letting down? Because what can happen in life, we depend on people. And sometimes when they don't come through or something happens, what does that mean? We are let down, and that's how we develop what's called soul wounds. And you may be asking, what exactly is a soul wound? Very good question. Glad you're asking. Listen, a soul wound is your mind, your will, and your emotions. That makes up your soul. So if those parts are affected in some way that causes hurt and pain, then you have what's called a soul wound. Okay? So, next time you hear that it being talked about with soul wounds, that's your mind, your will, your emotions. Yes, things can hurt us to our core, to Eh, yes, the innermost being. And when we are affected, we can walk around with soul wounds that need to be released. And that so that we can be at a place to be able to go on with our lives and not stuck in bondage of some kind. Okay. And bondage can look like different things, you know. It can look like patterns and habits that we can't seem to break. It could also look like just showing up and not being our best version of ourselves. And that's really what a soul wound can be. Listen. Oh, hi, Rose. Thank you so much for popping up. What is the stream of? Oh, Broken Bottle Production. Sorry, guys, I'm just finding your chat. Um, appreciate that so much. Just actually finding you guys. All right. Still learning how to work this new system here. Um, this live tonight, thank you for asking, is actually about forgiveness, and then it is about healing. We are on a healing journey tonight, and just as it's necessary to go to the doctor for certain um, ailments or things, we are dealing with the inner work or the inner healing that must take place, and us as individuals, and each one of us must go down this path. And so, with that being said, we are diving a little bit into it, and we're talking about forgiveness tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know where you are tuning in from. Okay. Now, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Guys, we certainly appreciate those of you coming in. And so, again, when whenever there is um, the opportunity for to be offended by something, that can create what's called soul wounds. And with soul wounds, it does make it a little more difficult to be truly free. So we must find a way to forgive. And again, forgiveness is not for the other individual. Forgiveness is actually for ourselves, right? And and you guys, I know when I was on my journey, one of the things that I had to do was make sure that I was doing the work. So, uh, unfortunately, healing is one of those things that no one can do for you. You know, if you've ever heard the term, you can lead a horse to water, but you what? Can't make them drink. I can give you the information. I can share with you my journey of what I have walked through and was able to overcome. I can share with you from the knowledge of healing and forgiveness. I can even give you practical ways to do it, but you must be a participant in your own healing. And what does that mean, Dr. Alicia? Glad you're asking. Exactly what that means is I can give you information. I can share very real stories with you of how I walked through. But then it's up to you to decide to do the same. Okay. So we are ending the getting close to the end of 2025. And I want you to take a moment and reflect. What are maybe some areas that you can see over your life that maybe there has been a soul wound? There has been something that has taken place that causes unforgiveness. Okay. And maybe you think that you've let it go and you may have recently encountered that individual, or you encountered something that maybe triggered a thought and emotion, maybe triggered a memory. Okay. And you thought you really had forgiven. All right, story time, true moments here. Listen, recently I was scrolling through my phone, and if you know anything about iPhones, they have what's called um, like a voice recorder where you can just record voice. And I do a lot of my voiceovers there if I'm preparing for to do a commercial or voiceovers. Anyway, I do a lot of that, and I'll take a lot of screenshots and listen of different things, messages, and whatever. So I was scrolling and I was actually getting rid of some old voicemails. Nevertheless, stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this story. And I hit the button from 2023, 2022, whichever. And it was someone from 2022, a very brief encounter. And for some reason, it was their voicemail that they had left. And it was extremely toxic. They were saying very demeaning things to me in the recording. And I listened, But instantly, it took me back to a memory of a very toxic um, interaction, relationship, friendship. It took me back to the feelings that I felt, and I thought, wow. Hmm. But the healed version of me listened, and I was not moved this time. Why? Why do I say this time? Because in times past, it used to trigger emotions in me if I heard that individual's voice, if I saw their name, if I saw their photo, it would trigger anxiety. It would trigger these emotions, and I would become um, anxious and fight or flight. I'm breaking out with sweat, and I'm immediately nervous, and just that used to happen. That was very real emotions from a time in my life where I didn't love myself. Quite frankly, there's no other way to put it. I did not love myself. And you may be saying, why are you saying that? Because it's true. People that love themselves do not allow themselves to be spoken to in any way other than with respect. If you are a person that allows people to put you down with their words, with their actions, then you don't love you. And you must get to the root of what caused you to be that way. What what happened? Go all the way back. It doesn't matter if it was childhood. What conditioned you to tolerate such behavior? What in your life conditioned you to be silent with mistreatment and not do anything about it, to allow it? Now, I'm speaking to you from the healed version that can talk about it because I didn't realize before I started doing the work and start going through my healing journey, I didn't realize that I was responsible for allowing such behaviors. When people treat you a certain way, they are showing you that they either devalue you or they find value in you, okay? According to how they're treating you. So always keep that in mind. If you are being put down, if you are being spoken to in a way that is disrespectful, they don't care about you. That is not love. And I don't know who you are on the other end, but I'm telling you, that is not love. And you need to realize that. And it's time to make a decision, you know. And I love, I think it's Mel Robbins, when listening to her podcast and just listening from a very real place. Sometimes it's important to not just listen to um, these podcasts or talk shows. Don't just listen, but actually take it to heart and begin to do self examination because that is going to be the only way you're going to get to the root of the problem. Well, this is probably about enough that that any of us can stand tonight. Because listen, why? Because Rome was not built in a day. And what am I saying? I'm saying that sometimes it takes more than one time before we go in deeper to get to the root of healing. Okay? So, just so you know, healing does start with forgiveness. And we want to continue on this path with me. If you are watching this or listening to the replay, let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you have not already, like, subscribe, push the button, the click somewhere on this page. Anyway, I'm super excited to have been with you on tonight. Just know healing is not an instantaneously thing that happens. Healing is a journey. And the reason why I say a journey, because once we do have a part of us healed, there's always another level, another thing that we'll learn that we need to be healed from. So, guys, I thank you for joining me on tonight. Let's continue this healing journey together. So, look forward to seeing you on the very next episode of Emerge. This has been Dr. Alicia J. Speaks. Certainly excited to be with you. We look forward to seeing you again as we go together on our healing journey.